Mobile gaming. I think it's the future. I think we've come full circle to it. I think Nintendo Switch has shown us that ultimately high fidelity graphics have their place, but what's more valuable is being able to play wherever you want, whenever you want. It fits Xbox's model with Game Pass, and it's rumored now, you can see in this news story here, Xbox might be looking into a handheld console as PlayStation rumors circulate. What are those PlayStation rumors? That PlayStation is creating a PS Vita 2. The PlayStation Vita is actually very underrated. It is a fantastic little machine, little device. It's just nobody's had success going up against the Nintendo handhelds. It's very hard to do, and I wonder if it's because everybody's had one foot in, one foot out. But if your entire ecosystem is built from the ground up for mobile, then maybe you don't have that issue. And Nintendo doesn't necessarily dominate. What Nintendo Switch has shown us is the ability. Everybody that I know that owns that games primarily on an Xbox or a PlayStation or a PC, the common denominator, they all own a Nintendo Switch. What does that tell you? Well, they own two things. They all own a Nintendo Switch, and they all own a phone. The problem with the phone, Xbox, we saw this week, Xbox is going cloud streaming. They want to use your devices. They want to reach 1 billion people. The problem with that is you have gatekeepers. You have Apple, you have Android as gatekeepers there, and it's going to be an uphill battle to unlock those. Solution, creating your own handheld. Now, a lot of people are saying this. Let's go over this news article real quick, and then I've got some questions here on a handheld. First up, what do you guys think? Do you want to see Xbox create its own hardware in the form of a console handheld? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel. Guys, we cover Xbox gaming news all the time. It's like a podcast, a mini podcast. Every day we hang out together and just discuss what's happening here. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, like the video as well. And let's jump into this. This is PureXbox.com. My main man, Ben Carey. Go check out PureXbox.com. It's one of my favorite sites. Thanks to the new PlayStation 2 Vita leak from YouTuber Moore's Law is Dead, rumors about an Xbox handheld console could be in the works have now started to appear. So Tom Henderson said, I've not heard this yet, but my 2 cents here is that given the increasing popularity of the handheld market as of late, this is probably one of the best educated guesses you can make in terms of PlayStation tech. I bet Xbox is looking into it too. Insider Gaming, this was a response in a tweet by Insider Gaming saying Sony has a new PlayStation handheld console in development, report claims. Jez Gordon, editor-in-chief of Windows Central, Xbox Insider, replies to Tom Henderson about I bet Xbox is looking into too, and he says they are. And that's where all this is coming. Then he goes on to say Xbox literally greenlit several new hardware projects in the past couple weeks alone. Pure Xbox ends this article here. Given that Xbox consoles seem to be flatlining at the moment, it's a little surprising that Microsoft might be spinning up even more hardware. Or is it that surprising? Maybe Xbox wants to diversify and move away from traditional consoles. Either way, for now, this is all rumor and speculation. Agreed. Let's see what some of the comments to this article are right here. Would love this for Xbox, says Phantom Anima. I absolutely loved the Vita when it first came out. I agree. The Vita was solid. This was on PlayStation. I'm hopeful for Xbox Portable, but part of me doubts this will happen unless it's a third-party hardware. Here's the thing. The third-party hardware already exists. And so the question might be, why should Xbox create its own? And the answer is that Xbox can provide the premium experience. You don't have to mess with anything else. So right now, both on ROG Ally and on Steam Deck, you have to work around Windows software, which Xbox, it's Microsoft, they are, and their own operating system over the top. Just a console where it only plays game. The only purpose of this device is to play Game Pass and Xbox games. And Xbox Mobile would be created from the ground up, would be just like consoles are today. You just plug it in, it works well. That would be an appeal. Let me tell you why I own a Nintendo Switch. Well, first of all, am I for this? Yes or no? Let me tell you guys. I've always said, you can go back and check me. I've always said Xbox is genius relying on third-party hardware. They don't need to get in and do it themselves. And I still stand behind that. I think that's a genius move. Having said that, now that PlayStation is rumored to be doing a Vita, seeing Nintendo's Switch success, seeing the regulatory hurdles that are there and the gatekeepers of iOS and Android, I think the best thing for Xbox to do is to create. I think its next console will be focused on mobile gaming. I'm for it 100%. Here's what I've said. PlayStation recently dropped their mobile gaming device that's like basically an iPad on controllers, and it streams from your Xbox. And I said on the X1 Bros podcast, go check it. If you've not checked out the X1 Bros podcast, go do so. Weekly Xbox podcast. It's fantastic. YouTube.com/X1 Bros. I think there's actually a link in the description of this video. Anyways, I said there, and I got mocked for it. But I said, everybody's mocking this device from PlayStation. I would love a device like that. Here's why. As I get older, I have less time to game. And it's not only that I have less time to game, but as I'm busy and busier, when I do have time to game, for instance, my gaming PC is right here, right in front of me, on this desk, which is in my office down in the basement, removed from the rest of my family. It's where I could have my premium gaming experience. I have a couch behind me. I used to have my Xbox Series X down here, and this is where I would game. I've moved it up to the living room, and doing so, it's enabled me to play more games because even though I'm playing an Xbox up there, and it maybe not on the best monitor, it's on a really good TV actually. Anyways, I play it up there in the living room because I'm no longer removed from my family, so I can play more. If I was able to be mobile, if I was able to have it in a Switch version or an ROG Ally like, and it's Xbox built from the ground up, I could sit on the couch while my wife and kids watch TV. I could sit on the couch and play next to my wife while she reads, and I'm not removed, enabling me to game even more. That's the ultimate goal of Xbox, I think, long term. That's the ultimate goal of all games long term. And I think the Nintendo Switch, the reason everybody has a Nintendo Switch is because Nintendo Switch lets you do that. Now, Nintendo Switch, I don't play as much as the Xbox because it's just the way it works out. I enjoy the Xbox games. It fits me. So if you could do this for me, I would be all in. I think it's fantastic. I love that PlayStation is rumored to be moving in this direction. I think it's smart. I think it's the move. We are a more busy society than we've ever been before. Gamers are aging. The original OG generation of hardcore gamers, which I think is my generation, is aging and has more responsibilities than ever before. Enabling us to play mobile is key. It fits right in line with Xbox's central strategy of Game Pass, 100%. It doesn't take away from the ROG Ally. It doesn't take away from the Steam Deck. It's just its own version. Same with PlayStation. I think both moves would be genius. Now, I think it's going to be a few years before we see any of that, but I think it's genius. Let's read a few more comments here. That was the number one comment. Let's see. Number two, seems to me like a more viable option would be Windows competitor to Steam OS and hardware certification program for Game Pass. They practically already did the endorsement for ROG Ally. Why not make it a thing? Microsoft is not looking into producing hardware as a primary driver anyways. Yes, but if you could offer the optimal experience and you're not dependent on third-party hardware, you want to have everything in-house so that you control it, ultimately. Why does everybody why is iPhone so good? Because everything is controlled. Everything is controlled. So you get a premium experience on an iPhone. That's just the reality. I know the Android guys are yelling at me right now, but that's why. Why is Android not as good of an experience for a lot of people, in my experience? Because you have all these third-party hardware developers, and it's just not it's not controlled from the ground up in the same way. So it's not as smooth of an experience. You don't have as many apps. It just doesn't work as well within its ecosystem. That's the benefit of Xbox creating its own handheld, in my opinion. Luca91 says, I'm interested. I would definitely buy a portable Xbox console if it's not a mere streaming device. I can use my iPad for that. I agree with that. It needs to be like an ROG Ally. The problem with the ROG Ally is the battery life. What is the battery life on a Nintendo Switch? 6 hours? So as long as it's right around there, I think we're golden. And I think you could do it. I think it would be fun. Here's someone that says, I think it's kind of pointless when you have devices like the ROG Ally that already act as a handheld for Xbox and offer far more flexibility at the same time. Think about marketing, though. Marketing, yes, you can have the ROG Ally, but marketing PlayStation with the Vita is going to be marketing it as the PlayStation Vita. And there is some advantages in the marketing realm as well. So, and I don't think this takes away from the ROG Ally. The ROG Ally is a multi-platform device. So is the Steam Deck. The Xbox would be an Xbox-centric device built from the ground up for Xbox games and Xbox experiences. So there's some of the comments, gives you an idea of what people are thinking. Again, go check out the article. Go check out purexbox.com. I did write down some questions here on this that I thought would be fun to dive into. So first question, how would an Xbox handheld console change the current gaming ecosystem, especially against Nintendo Switch and the rumored PlayStation Vita 2? I think the ecosystem is already moving in this direction, and Xbox is already focused on this direction of change within the gaming ecosystem, and that is mobile. They've been they're doing it with Game Pass. They're doing it with game streaming. So I don't think that it changes that. I think it complements it. I don't see a huge change here. The big question will be, can the PlayStation and Xbox of the world go mobile? If this is the route that they're going, compete with the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo has been absolutely dominant there. And why has Nintendo been dominant? For a few reasons. Number one, I think they target children. Children need to be mobile. Parents buy it for their kids. There's like a trust factor there. I know I trust most games. I trust the Mario series, that my kids aren't going to be exposed to gratuitous violence or nudity. That doesn't exist on the Xbox or PlayStation necessarily. And number two, they're not super concerned. They're not in the arms race that is graphic fidelity. And I think Xbox and PlayStation need to accept that as a reality if they're moving into this handheld space. The focus needs to be on games optimized for this device. Now, what the ROG Ally does is you can plug in basically a graphics card extension to it and go to town. And then use it as, as your PC essentially. It's really expensive to do that, but you can do it as an option. I don't know if Xbox or PlayStation include anything like that. It'll be very interesting. Does this mean that they're going away from traditional consoles? No, I think they're going to continue to do what they did the last time PlayStation to try to jump into this game. And that is move to, you'll have your big boy PlayStation, but then you'll have this mobile handheld experience as well. Could we see an only handheld console launch one day in the same way that Switch has done it? Maybe, but I don't think we're there anytime soon. I think you're at least a decade away from that, for sure. What features and games would you want to see in an Xbox handheld to consider it a must-buy? For me, ergonomics is key. Even looking at this ROG Ally, I'm sorry, I don't have my controller here on my desk. It needs to feel the same way as my controller, and it doesn't. There are add-ons for the Nintendo Switch that do it really well, but they're add-ons. I think it needs to be built in to the device itself. That's one feature that I would like to see. Another feature that I would like to see is the options, just like on Xbox right now, is getting more into this mode, and PC has always had it, but me being able to choose how I play. So for instance, maybe I want to have more graphical fidelity, but that deteriorates my battery life. Here's the thing though. I would be curious at what the stats are on mobile gaming, like with the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch, I never plug in when I play. I sit on my couch, I play for a few hours, and then I put it down. It's on the charging dock that way. But I would be willing to bet most people are that. They're not far away from a plug. I have no problem playing my handheld. I want it for flexibility to play more games. That's it. And that does not require me to, I'm not going on a 10-hour road trip on a camel where I don't have any access to electricity. I don't mind plugging in to play. I just want to be able to do that from a comfortable couch, sitting next to my family, in the bedroom, on a drive, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be purely mobile, and I think Nintendo has realized that. And when you look at how you play your Nintendo Switch, it's probably how it goes. Last question here: can Xbox create a unique handheld gaming experience, or will it follow in the footsteps of Nintendo and PlayStation? I don't know that it needs to be unique. I think the Steam Deck does some interesting things with the mouse and keyboard, with the touch joysticks on the side there, the pads. I guess I don't know what the exact name for them is called. I don't think that it needs to be touchscreen. I think that's foolish. Don't waste my time with that. The Nintendo Switch is touchscreen. I never use it. Zero. I don't think that the controllers need to disconnect unless you plan on docking it. I don't see Xbox doing that. Again, I think they're going to have their separate systems, or PlayStation for that matter. So really, it's ergonomics for me. I want ergonomics. I want a good screen with ergonomics. I have the OLED Nintendo Switch. It's enough. I don't need anything more fancy than that. Can you get 60 frames per second on these bad boys? I mean, I think you're on a mobile device. That's going to be more difficult for sure. But again, here's a feature that I would like. Absolutely. If I'm at home, maybe I can maybe I can stream to the mobile device through my Xbox and it works really well directly to it. But again, you could do that on an iPad right now anyway. So I don't know that that's necessary. Anyways, ergonomics, number one feature. I want it to feel like my Xbox controller. I want it to just fit in my hands and not cramp up and feel like a little toy. That's it. And that does us for today's video, everybody. I think this is fantastic. I'm excited. I would love to see this be a thing. I would love to see Xbox and PlayStation create handhelds. I would love to see competition in this space. I think it's the future. I think it fits into Xbox's mantra right now. I think it fits into their strategic plan of Game Pass, and I think it's going to be necessary. You have to fight all these regulatory battles. You have gatekeepers in Apple and Android. You're also then dependent on their hardware. Why not just create from the ground up your own experience? I think it makes sense. I think it's smart for both of these places to do it. And I think we're going to see it happen for sure. Would love to know what you guys think, though. Let me know in the comments below. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed to this video yet, what are you doing? Make sure you do so. I love hanging out with you guys every single day. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.